Susan, and today we are going to be using the TRX to take your yoga practice up a notch or make a few moves a little bit easier. So we're going to go over some common moves done in yoga using the TRX. And if you're unfamiliar with the TRX, it's this lovely resistance training that you can hook to a door or to your ceiling if you have one of these lovely little hooks. You can wrap it around a pole in the park. They're great. You can use them pretty much anywhere. They're really light and travel well. So I love them. They're versatile and adjustable for just about anybody. So to adjust your straps, you're going to select the height for each pose, and I will let you know. It's a little simple tilting of the buckle, and you go up or hold it and slide it down. So depending on the type of strap you have, there's a couple different TRX versions out there. So I will let you know, this one has a silver and black line. Some of them have one line or two lines. We're going to start at mid-height to begin with. Always warm up before you start your practice, and we're just going to go through a couple of quick warm-ups with this. Positioning, anchor, so eyes on the anchor, so facing the anchor, away from the anchor. Hand holds, foot holds. Mine are adjustable, some aren't. So depending on yours, you might need to adjust them. And again, low position, mid position, and then when you pull it all the way up, that's high position. Some straps are different. So just kind of go with what strap you have. You might not actually have the TRX strap. So if you just have a suspension trainer, we'll just go low, medium, and high. All right. Our first one is our warm-up. So we're just going to sink back. And again, you want to be straight out from your anchor. I'm going to be a little off to the side just so my whole image fits in the screen. This is the limitation sometimes of our TRX straps. So face your anchor, adjust your straps so your elbows, when they're bent at your side, are parallel to the ground. We're going to step back and sink back into that strap. If you're not used to the TRX, this is a great way to get kind of used to and trusting the strap holding up your body weight, because you're not putting all of your body weight. And I'm just rocking back and forth, stretching out my back, stretching out through the hips. Take a few breaths here, maybe lean to one side and then the other. Relax your neck. And you can straighten your knees up a little bit and really let that body sink back. Take a breath, come back up. Place your hand on both of the footholds. I'm going to step forward with the with the left. My left hand's on the inside. I'm going to lean into that. Open up, look over the right shoulder, twisting, and I'm going to come back up and around. And again, depending on your space, you might have to adjust where your hand goes. I just hit the wall. 3 times, open up, and come back up. Switch sides, right hand in, right hand goes forward, the left foot comes back. You can stay here if this is more comfortable, or if you feel confident, lean into it. Open up around the left side, come up and around the right. Breathing, exhaling, one more time. And then come back up. This should be a good height for your hand holds. We're going to go into just a little bit of a mountain pose. So we're going to start by pressing our hands down into the straps, rooting our hands, softening our knees, finding that lovely rooting through our feet. Gaze at the anchor. And then I like to turn my palms over so I can come up. And then we're going to take a big deep breath. Exhale, forward fold. In the yoga strap, it looks a little bit different. So just reaching forward, pressing into those handles. Inhale, come up. Exhale, roll down. Halfway lift. Nice long flat back, crown of the head reaches towards the wall. Fold forward, keeping those knees soft. Inhale. Up overhead, we go into our first move, warming up those legs. Bring the feet in close together, or you can keep them a little bit closer than hip width apart. Tension on the strap. straps. I know you can't see my straps. Tension on the straps. Big inhale. My palms are facing the anchor. Exhale, sink down into chair pose. This forces those arms to really engage through the shoulders. Keep them away so you're not scrunching them up. Abs are engaged, squeeze the glutes. Make sure you can wiggle your toes. Make sure you can see your toes. And of course, anytime this gets too tiring, you can take your hands out of the straps. That's the beauty of the TRX. You can let it go, come down, hold it down here. Big deep breath. Maybe you sink a little further. And then come up, bring the hands down, forward fold. Soft knees, inhale, halfway lift. Exhale down. Again, when you go into this chair pose, it facilitates your balance by being able to press against that strap. So there's no slack in my TRX strap. It's working my shoulders a little bit more, making those triceps engage, making my deltoids engage, your shoulder muscles. Good. You can also take the weight off of that chair by grabbing the handles and letting yourself sink. Maybe you can sink a little further in your chair than you normally can. And notice, when I'm in this chair, my back's nice and long, my feet are rooted, I can still wiggle my toes, my knees aren't going out over, I'm sinking back in. So there's a couple different things you can do with the chair pose. Our next move we're gonna go into is tree pose. So this is a really often challenging balance pose for a lot of people. I love that you can use the strap, giving you a little bit of an immobile or a mobile balance place, adding that challenge just a little bit. So tree pose, normally we bring our leg up on the inside, externally rotating that hip, knees slightly soft, not dumping in. You're here, here, out here, depending on your tree. Now, if you need something to hold onto, this is a great way to start practicing without a firm surface. So, your hands, left hand, I'm on the left side. So my left hand's holding on. I'm pressing firmly into the handles. You can use the foot straps if your hands are a little bit longer. You can also make a single handle by rolling through one and then bringing that strap through again. That's TRX 101. All right, so single handle, left knee soft. I'm gonna bring my right foot up to my mid-calf to start with. And then I'm gonna bring my right hand up. Again, as you get better, maybe you can bring your foot up a little bit higher. As you get into your practice, pressing down into that hand. Gives you a little bit of stability. Now to take this up a notch, we're gonna bring the strap in our single handle, place our hands and palms together, out in front of us. So from the side, I look like this. Out in front of us, shoulder height, pressing into that. So I'm resisting falling inward, but not falling outward either. We're gonna come into this, bring that left leg in line with your palms, bring the right leg up, however you need to get there, and press into that. So I'm making my obliques work in this position. And again, depending on where you're at, maybe your ankle's down or your foot's down here. Maybe it's still on the ground. Pressing into that. You're still resisting this rotation and the urge to lean that way or dump into your hip that way. So that's tree pose. It's one option. You can try it on the other foot and bringing that in, but what I have found is that people kind of dump this way and lean into it, and it's harder to stand up straight without dumping into that right hip. Woo! Man, this is an oblique burner. Okay, so that's tree and how you can take it up or make it a little bit easier in challenging your balance. All right, our next TRX yoga pose we're gonna go into is a traditional one for TRX too, and it's the TRX plank. So I'm gonna leave my straps at mid-length, and I'm gonna show you a way, if you have a hard time getting on the floor in a plank, how we can take your plank into a higher plank a little bit easier on your wrists, shoulders, elbows, and getting down on that floor. You want your hips and shoulders in line, hands in front of your shoulders as they would be in a high plank. Up on your toes, press the belly button to your spine, wrap those armpits around, or shoulders around your armpits there. And you're just gonna hold here. And as you get stronger in this plank position, you can turn it and face the anchor, so we were away from the anchor in that one, and bring it down here and walk out, or raise it up. Excuse me, I'm gonna raise it up first. And start bringing that plank out a little bit further in that. Strike that. Reverse this, erase. Our next move we're going to do is a TRX plank. It's a fundamental movement in the TRX family. So, in yoga, we do it often in our chaturanga and chaturanga? The next move we're going to do is a TRX plank. This is a move often done in yoga. If you have a hard time getting down on the floor, the TRX is a great way to practice your planks without having to get up and down off the floor. So, you face away from the anchor. I'm going to leave it at the halfway mark for right now. So I'm halfway, mid-length. Again, I'm in line with my anchor, but I'm going to move to the side just so you can see my body a little bit better. Hands are directly underneath my shoulders. My hips are in line with my shoulders. My knees are soft. I'm on my toes. And I'm going to wrap my arms around my armpits a little bit here to really engage that muscle, the serratus. Shoulders are away from the ears. Press the belly button to the spine. Tilt that pelvis just a little bit so you have a nice long line. You can hold here. As you get stronger, you can lower your straps down a couple inches, sliding down, getting into a little bit lower of a plank. Again, knees are soft. I'm on my toes. Everything is engaged. My chest is lifted, shoulders away from the ears, belly button pressed, pelvis slightly tilted, and holding in that plank. So as you get stronger, you lower down. Now, the next level up for a TRX plank is putting your feet in the TRX. So find mid-calf with your foot holds. It will be different length for everybody. So mid-calf with the foot. I like mine just a little bit higher, so it's up to you finding what's comfortable. I've been doing this for a while, and I just like that position. There are certain ways to get in. I have found this is the easiest way for me. I get down on all fours, place one foot in, and then the other. Now, if you do better with shoes on, of course, you can always wear shoes. So we start by stacking our wrist, elbow, and shoulder. And I'm moving away from the wall because I know my feet will hit it if I don't move away. If you're underneath one, it might be easier just to stay where you are, but I walk forward. Wrist, elbow, and shoulder are stacked. And I'll show you a couple different options here for this. Press the belly button to your spine. Wrap those armpits with your arms. Lift up and extend. Make sure your hips are in line. Make sure that your wrist, shoulders, and elbows are stacked. Belly button pressed. Nice long neck. Keep those feet flexed. Okay, so if that one's hard for you, you can move down to your forearms. Whew. Take a breath when you need to. This is tough work. Wrists are no longer parted, so your elbows and shoulders are stacked. Nice long neck. Nose faces the ground. We push away, engaging that shoulder complex. Come up into our plank. Again, you might need to take the straps down just a little bit if you're on your forearms. And make sure you're not over, you're a little bit back. Whew. And that is taking it up a notch with the TRX for plank. This move is working into your handstand. So in yoga, oftentimes the handstand and the headstand are the big takeaways. And I love the stability that the yoga or the TRX strap gives me in practicing my handstands. So again, if you need, make sure you have someone with you if you're not confident in this yet. But we're gonna go into a headstand. We're not gonna go into a handstand today, just a headstand. And we're gonna go into a practice on how to get there. Of course, you're fully warmed up before you do this. You're not just jumping into it. And you're gonna find that forearm, like you were doing for plank. Place your head, top of your head on the ground, palms down, engage into a little pike. This is an excellent way to practice the stability, making sure that it's in your shoulders and your hands, and you're not resting all that weight on your neck. You can take some of the weight off by placing it in your legs. Again, find your way down. And there's a couple different ways. I'm actually gonna strike that, reverse that. I'm gonna show you a couple different ways to go into this before you put your head down. So you find your plank, practice coming up in that hinge motion. If you can do that hinge motion successfully, the next step is putting your head down. So I kind of got ahead of myself, I apologize. All right, head down, come up. And you can even come and put your hands out here, take some weight off, bring your feet up, and you're still supported in these lovely little TRX straps. Breathe, release your knees down, and press up to all fours. Woo! All right, couple different ways to take your handstand into the TRX strap, into the yoga world. Our last and final move that we're gonna go over today is crow. And crow is a very powerful move, and it's a very strong move. And oftentimes we don't have the upper body strength to hold ourselves up, but we also don't have the ad and adductor strength to hold our legs against our arms. And the TRX strap allows us to practice that movement by taking half of our body weight off. At least in my opinion, it's about half of our body weight. So I'm going to show you how to use the TRX strap to help build your crow position. I'm going to take it up a little bit higher than my mid-calf. So it's a little bit higher than the normal foot hold because we're going to be lifting our body up a little bit higher. And our feet go up higher. Again, find both feet in. And as you get better, you can try it with one foot in, but we're going to practice today with two. So you have to play around with your starting position. I know that I'm going to need to move back a little bit to come into that. Hands are shoulder width height, or width, excuse me, shoulder width apart. Shoulders away from the ears. I'm going to tuck my chin slightly as I push up into a suspended tabletop position. Bending the elbows, I'm going to bring my knees up. Now, I am too far away from the anchor to bring my knees where I need to. So I'm moving back. Take a big deep breath. Press the belly button up as you lift up into that tabletop. Squeeze up. Press your feet into that TRX strap, and it helps support your legs up in the crow position. Press the abs, squeeze the glutes. Practice pressing in with your thighs to strengthen those ad and adductors. Woo. And that, my friend, is crow in the TRX.